the end of the hour on Friday, when we finished some commenting on Whitehead's Science in the Modern World, said that we'd try and take some time at the outset today for any discussion that you'd like. So realizing that heated up leftovers on Monday aren't always exactly things we're ready for, this in order to summarize the change that's represented from what's gone before, at least from classical metaphysics. Instead of substance, some enduring identity of a substance being the ultimate reality, it's process. And the ingredients are events which come and go, so there's no enduring identity through extensive periods of time. Though there are enduring strains in long extended events. After all, the history of the cosmos is an extended event. The change is, of course, from the 18th century mechanist model to the organic model. If you're thinking of this business with Model 1, Model 2, Model 3. So it is the development of new science in the 19th century, developmental biology, something other than mechanistic explanations of life, and relativity physics, energistic physics, breaking down the solidity of matter, so forth. So that more organic, if you like, relational model. It's worth noting, perhaps, that Whitehead remains a quantitative pluralist. That is to say, in terms of how many events are there. Obviously, many, 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 many events. How many processes are there? Oh, endless processes. He's a quantitative pluralist, numerically. But in terms of the nature of those events and processes, they're all fundamentally the same. Qualitative monism. So the same description of an event applies to God and to a particular sense perception that we have. Qualitative monism. It seems to me that that's the source of some of his problems. That he gives insufficient weight to qualitative distinctions between God and creation. And again, if you like, between the human person and natural phenomena. The person is, in a sense, a natural phenomenon. There's something distinctive about persons. So it's that qualitative monism which seems to overgeneralize and to bring everything into the same process. The mechanist model, of course, had external relations, as in the causal interaction of Descartes' mind-body dualism. The organic model, the relations are internal, they're of the very nature of the terms of the relationship, internal relations. Because of the external relations, the 18th century was able to seek and claim complete objectivity of knowledge. The mind is a passive recipient of data, you see. And while Kant upset that apple cart, by the time you get to Whitehead, subject-object continuum. That is to say, in every knowing situation, I'm tripping over this cord here, in every knowing situation, there is already what is contributed by antecedent events before the new data come in. And in addition to that, there's the decision that's made in terms of the eternal possibilities that are offered in the new event. So the subjective as well as the objective contributing in this case. And of course, of major concern to Whitehead is the fact-value separation in the mechanistic view, which gives way in Whitehead to the unity of fact and value and the overall teleological nature of his scheme. And, you know, obviously, there's a lot here that's very important. I find this extremely helpful, his criticism of the fact-value separation, and thence his criticism of the mechanistic model. You see. My complaint is about his universalization of the organic model, the way he describes it. It seems to me that just as for most in this tradition, they'll say that the organic model, no, take it back, the mechanistic model may apply to some things that do indeed operate quite mechanically. And the organic model, all right, may be an overarching sort of thing with regards to mechanistic phenomena. There seems to be the need for something else, a more personalistic model. And I think that's the sort of thing that you find in some of the personalistic existentialism. People like Kierkegaard, Martin Buber, so forth, trying to emphasize the category of person as distinct from anything else. All he can do for person is to say that you and I as persons have continuity in terms of some strain carried by memory, which maintains certain qualities in this stream of experience through the years, which is you, personal identity carried by the stream of experience. And that's a slim sort of identity. In fact, articles have been written saying that Whitehead's ethic really doesn't provide a basis for holding anybody accountable, simply because of the successive events without one continuous agent who can today be held accountable for yesteryear, or perhaps even yesterday. You see. So there are problems that arise in that sort of an ethic. Well, that's my summation of what we've been talking about all last week. Do you want to pursue this at all? Or is it after the weekend cold? Janelle.
In talking about what he perceives as reality, it seems to me like this overall kind of feeling that it's a process, and yet he says that you don't want to misplace, you don't want the fallacy of misplaced concretion, and yet this process seems very abstract. And then I went back and looked at the category of the ultimate as something that pulses through everything, but this pulse and creativity is still abstract to me, and yet he gives it concreteness. Yeah.
I wonder if you're using the term abstract in a different sense than he is. I wonder if what you're saying is this is a novel concept which I still don't have a firm hand on. Abstract in the sense that I have difficulty pinning it down as something immediately experienced. Whereas I think he would use the term abstract to mean it's a mental construct quite unrelated to experience, you see. Whereas the process, as he describes it, he believes is really descriptive of experience. You haven't really assimilated the description. Maybe that's what he'd say. Do you get it? It takes a while for the descriptive words to get beyond the words into something which really captures experience, you see. So you might try seeing if his description of an event applies to other things than a moment of sense perception, you see. Take, for instance, an event like, what do you want to say, going to college for the first time. Do you remember that event? I presume you do. Strange it felt. You came with that odd combination of adolescent gawkiness, self-confidence, and complete uncertainty and apprehension. Huh? Well, open-ended event, you see. In other words, you come with a history, some ongoing experience that's given. Then there hits you objective data. Such as what? Well, the orientation thing. Having to find your way around a strange campus. Teachers who seemed to expect you to do things independently. Whatever else it is. You know, and these are all fit into the hopper, and there's all sorts of possibilities that could emerge from that, you see. One of the possibilities being that you select out from the whole range of things some ideal, some goal you're going to pursue. You're not going to be siphoned off into all the extraneous things. You're going to get an education. Okay, subjective aim, the decision, you see. And so the course is set. That's the event. And then you could describe the subsequent events for growing out of it. Here as a freshman, you're in Philosophy 101. The objective datum of that course, you see. What are you going to do with it? In yourself. And for Whitehead, the importance is not what you do with it, utility style, but what you do with it in the sense of assimilating it into yourself. What does it make of you? What does it do to you? You see? There are various possibilities. And a great deal depends on